This is Super Mario Land, an old-school Game Boy game that's famous for introducing the world to Princess Daisy for the first time.
Hi, I'm Daisy!
And let me tell you, after playing it, I now know where Daisy gets her temper. If you were born in this place, you'd have a wild side too. This is not the Mushroom Kingdom, it's Sarasa Land, which consists of 4 crazy kingdoms: Birabudo, Muda, Easton, and Chai. Daisy's hypnotized and abducted by this guy, Space Invader Tatanga, a major story event which, by the way, you would never even know because the game doesn't tell you. It simply drops Mario into the first kingdom, Birabudo, and forces you to figure it out from there. This is not the Super Mario I'm used to. First of all, Koopa shells don't shoot across the ground when you stomp on them. Instead, they explode after a few seconds, for no apparent reason. Found that out the hard way. Also, why are we in ancient Egypt? Pyramids, hieroglyphics, the sphinxes spit fireballs at me? It's so weird, but surprisingly kinda works. You mainly just have to get used to how small everything is. Like these cute little question blocks. And mushrooms, those are small too, and white with no spots. Maybe the button variety? Fire flowers are also a thing here, or so I thought. I didn't know flames could bounce around like this. Check this out. It turns out these aren't fireballs after all. It wasn't until doing research for this video I found out these are actually rubber balls, which explains the bouncing. This very same bouncy ball super flower is actually in Mario Maker 2, but I didn't realize it was a reference to this game. At the end of an eventful stage 1, I found myself looking up. I don't want to go in the bottom door, I want to go in the top one. Turns out this was the right instinct, since I won a super flower in the bonus game up top. I continued platforming through the pyramids until I reached this bigger, scarier Sphinx, who turns out to be the first boss, King Totemesu. Mario vs. giant fire-breathing Sphinx would have been epic, except for the fact that the boss took under 3 seconds to beat. This is literally just Bowser from Mario 1, Ancient Egypt Edition. Jumping over him and his fireballs to the switch on the other side promptly blew him up and led me to my princess. Game Boy graphics were not kind to Daisy. And it gets worse, since her ugly sprite began to transform into an even uglier one. I actually have no idea what this is supposed to be. The entire game I thought it was a rat. It's actually a fly, and these are the wings. Who knew? Either way, we have to move on to the next kingdom to continue searching for the actual Daisy. This time, we find ourselves in the Muda Kingdom, based on the real-world Bermuda Triangle. Mario starts here underneath the tractor beam of a UFO, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I thought we were chasing an alien, not becoming one. Here, all the fish are crazy. We got jumping bonefish, we got regular fish, we got seahorses that breathe actual fireballs, not rubber balls. We even got robots that decapitate themselves and throw their heads at us. The good news is just about everything can be jumped on to defeat, and once we reach the submarine shooter section, oh boy, this is where it gets good. Believe it or not, Mario Land lets you turn fish into fish food, one bullet at a time. Just watch out for the octopus, because once you shoot them, they want to bring you down with them. I quickly realized everything here is dangerous, and they're all after Mario. They've even spelled out a death wish for him in coins. We're led right into a trap, and out comes the World 2 boss, Dragon Zamazu. After enough bullets to the snout, big fire-breathing seahorse was defeated, and finding Daisy for the second time led to a huge discovery. Canonically, she's the first character to go from a kid to a squid almost 30 years before the first Splatoon was released on Wii U. How's that for foreshadowing? But with the real Daisy evading our grasp yet again, it's on to World 3, the Eastern Kingdom. Why did none of these enemies ever come back? Look at this guy, and this guy. Why can't I use him in Mario Party? These are some epic designs that have just been lost to time. I think he has a spiritual successor in Odyssey though. I took advantage of some questionable physics as I rode bouncing rocks to the goal of the first stage. And that's when we hit what I like to call the arachnophobia level. We get 2 types of spiders, ones that drop down and ones that leap at you. Neither are friendly and both are a huge pain. I put my head down, faced my fears, and dealt with some equally frightening platforming until finally reaching Hioi Hoi. This is the final boss of the Eastern Kingdom, and if he was a Pokemon, the only move he'd know is Rock Throw. If I was a good player, I would have used his rocks to my advantage and beat the boss the intended way, using each of them as a platform to get over his head to hit the switch on the other side. But I'm not, so I just tanked his hit using my Super Mushroom and was done with it. Not the cleanest run, but we made it to Daisy, who transforms into more arachnophobia. Nowhere is safe. She hops away, and that means we're on to the final world, Chai Kingdom, and the best song in the game. I think these are meant to be bamboo shoots in the kingdom based on ancient China. But what caught my attention the most is how the heck I was supposed to get these coins in this impossible secret area. I swear I jumped around everywhere in here and still don't know how to get them. Anyways, I gave up on the coins, and that's when I met probably the craziest enemy in this entire game. Angry little girls. Okay, not exactly. I had to look them up. These are Piompis, enemies based on Jiangxi, a mythical vampire from Chinese folklore. But I can't unsee little girl with pigtails who wants to wring Mario's neck. Now that I know these are undead vampires, the coming back to life a few seconds after I squished them makes a lot more sense. The rest of the stage was pretty easy, except for this part when the little girls tried to gang up on me, but beating it led me to what seemed like a low-budget version of your traditional Mario castle. We got Koopas, we got lava pits, piranha plants, and spinning fire bars, but this time with only one fireball on them. I guess more fireballs would have been too hot for the Game Boy to handle. This convenient gap in between allowed me to cheese a lot of the platforming and successfully reach the game's final level. And I guess we're playing Cuphead. Two things I didn't expect from this game were full submarine and airplane auto-scroll shooter levels, but here we are. This time shooting down chickens until we reach the source, literally a cloud. But this is a rain cloud, and it's raining chickens. Angry chickens. Meet the World 4 boss, Bio Kinton. After a storm of birds and bullets, I rained enough hits on the cloud to defeat it. And I guess the chicken cloud was his last line of defense, because defeating it caused our final boss to appear. Enter Tatanga. Bosses in this game haven't been too difficult, but this guy was angry and you could tell. His attack pattern isn't all that easy to dodge, so a lot of my early attempts were just a spray and pray. Unfortunately, that didn't work out so well. I had to slow it down and take the time to learn that big ball turns into 3 little balls. And once I learned to expect this pattern, Tatanga was taken down in a flash. After landing my final shot, I was finally able to meet with the real Daisy and fly off into the sunset knowing that my quest in Sarasaland was over. And oh yeah, I spoke way too soon. This is the best song in the game.